Welcome to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast, where high achieving entrepreneurs and leaders come to receive deep, insightful conversations and practical guidance to move from hustle to flow without sacrificing their authentic self and the results. I am your host and Chief Energy Officer, Tammy Cho, a former patient care leader turned international best-selling author, speaker, and face and body analysis expert. Get ready to lead your authenticity, lead your energy, and lead your impact. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in and being here with me today. Today, I'm going to be talking about your authority, the part of you within yourself that is in charge of making decisions, where listening to it will always show you your right aligned decision. In this episode, we are going to specifically hone into what's called emotional authority based on the human design system. Now, for those that don't know, human design is a system that combines four ancient esoteric systems together, including the Western astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the Hindu chakra system, and the Kabbalah tree of life. And it is a system based on self-discovery and supporting you to live out who you are based on your specific energetic blueprint. It literally holds your own unique energetic design aligned to your specific gifts, challenges, tendencies, your purpose, why you're drawn to play the roles you are drawn to play. Human design teaches human beings how to live by their own specific strategy and authority, and how to make decisions that are individually correct, specific to you. And this is important, right? Because it speaks to our ability to stand in our inner power and strength and authority to really make aligned decisions for ourselves, because it is our decisions that determine our outcome and results in our everyday business and life, right? It is important because our ability to make decisions that feel right for us affects our level of confidence, the trust we have for ourselves. When we don't listen to it, over time affects our underlying amount of worthiness and our experience of happiness within our being, right? And it's important because it helps us feel aligned to what feels authentically true within ourselves over what any experts outside of us tell us, right? And what happens is that many high achievers are conditioned to seek this approval and authority outside of ourselves. And I have done this, many others have done this, maybe you have done this, where we follow someone else's system that worked for them, but it didn't really work for us in the way we thought it would, or maybe to the degree we thought it would, or you were able to follow the system through and everything, and it still didn't feel like it was authentically representing you, because we were making decisions from the mind and logic, and maybe through inspiration of the results our coaches and mentors were able to achieve. And as much as they have good intentions, right, it didn't feel right for us at the end of the day. And because we are not meant to make decisions through our mind, we are actually meant to make decisions in connection through our body. In the human design system, we all have a specific personal strategy and authority. And when we intentionally practice our strategy and authority, we are aligning our unique energy geometry in a way that our work, business, relationships, where we live, opportunities naturally fall into place for us. And there are different authorities in the human design system, but today we are specifically honing in on emotional authority. And one of the reasons why I chose to hone in on emotional authority specifically is because, according to the human design system, over half, about 53% of the planet has what's called a defined solar plexus, which means over 53% of the people on the planet have a decision making mode, if you will, called emotional authority. At this point, if I have got you fired up or intrigued with this system and you really want to find out what authority you are, I have included a link to access your free chart in the show notes. You'll need your birth time, your exact time of birth to access your chart. And when you print out the free chart, your inner authority will be clearly laid out at the very top. So if you don't know, feel free to click on the link in the show notes and discover that for yourself, okay? And because I am an emotional authority myself, what I notice is that I do pull in into my field many other entrepreneurs and leaders who are emotional authorities as well. And as I begin to link face and body analysis with human design, I find it extremely helpful to link in what I see that showing up in their facial characteristics with what comes up with their energy blueprint human design. For example, if someone has emotional authority in their human design, but the expression in their emotional zone of their face is more reserved or restricted in certain parts of the facial characteristics, this provides me specific information for what needs to shift to really bring in more energy and flow towards their performance, their impact, and their own level of fulfillment. One of the other reasons I want to talk about emotional authority is being that for people that really value truth and authenticity with this big heart to want to make a deeper impact to their community and themselves, it has a lot to do with our relationship to our own emotions. Because the solar plexus, which is highlighted as defined in the human design, it is all about emotional and social awareness, our feelings, and spirit consciousness. And what you need to know as an emotional authority is the solar plexus operates through literally a emotional wave. And waiting for clarity before making a decision is actually the key to living in harmony. Like hearing that for the first time, it may trigger something for you, right? Needing to wait because it's like, wow, wait, how long? What's that mean? It brings up a lot of questions, right? But essentially, if you are emotional authority, you're designed to essentially wait out your emotional wave before making a decision and to not make a decision if you are in a place of being emotionally high or emotionally low. This design is inviting you to wait for this emotional wave to be neutral before making a decision for yourself. So, truth and clarity is actually revealed over time. So, time is the actual key. And essentially, for emotional authority, there is no truth in the now. And so, you got to wait on it. And if you make a spontaneous decision or make decisions when you feel rushed, you will find that it may be one of regret. Or if you make a decision and even if all the different parts make sense logically, you will still feel like something is not right about it. You will not feel good about the decision. And what this can look like is it will take up a lot of mind space, right? Thinking if you made the right decision again and again in your head, it can really play into a cycle of self doubt, confusion. It makes sense logically, but why does it not feel right? And even if you may not be connected to all these moments, it often takes much of our energy and inner capacity when we're going back and forth within ourselves. So, patience is a key component in waiting out the emotions and the wave before making a decision. And I am not talking about small day to day decisions, right? Where you don't need to wait to decide what you want to eat or what book you want to curl up with at night, right? I am talking about decisions that are going to affect your life for a period of time. And what leaders don't realize is that if you hold emotional authority in your human design blueprint, you naturally have this emotional wave. You will naturally have waves of highs and lows. And you may think that everyone, right, has emotional ups and downs. But if you are emotional authority, you're different. You have emotional waves that are consistently occurring. And there are four emotional wave patterns, depending on your specific human design. And these waves are happening for no reason, but simply by having this in your human design blueprint. This is part of your being, and nothing, absolutely nothing is wrong. The challenge many fall into is when they are feeling down. You may fall into making up that something is wrong, finding a story to justify why you might be feeling down, or maybe you feel like you got to fix your emotional state, creating stories about what you may be feeling bad about, or trying to achieve and do more so you can feel better about maybe not feeling so good, right? And I feel it's important to high achievers or anyone with emotional authority, right? There is nothing wrong with the emotions they are experiencing. But because there may be an internal mindset that being vulnerable and to show emotions are weak, and we may fall into thinking something needs to be fixed, right? So that we don't need to feel this way. And the first time I found out I was like emotional authority, I was in a bit of judgment with myself. That's annoying. I have to wait to make a decision. Right. And I was really judging myself about this. However, as I kept an open mind to really observe this in myself, I started to see the patterns I was running. I realized that I would judge myself on taking too long to make a decision. And then when I was able to release the saboteurs in my head that was clouding my perspective, I realized I was actually being authentic to myself and making decisions that felt right to me. And it took me longer because innately I knew I needed it to feel good in my decisions, but it was all these expectations from others I've placed on myself, or these internal judgments that were keeping me stuck and actually would prolong my natural emotional wave cycle with the triggers or stories I told myself. And now that I know how to release the judgment and allow myself to give myself time to decide and feel into things, I am making more decisions that feel really good to me and often pulls in the things I am asking the universe for. And because I'm feeling more happy and aligned, I am naturally pulling things into my field, allowing myself to just be more of myself. Because innately, I knew what to do, but I didn't trust that rhythm. And now I know when things are not flowing. It's often because I didn't allow myself to wait, or I'm simply in self judgment in the waiting process of myself in the emotional wave I'm at, right? So you just don't know how many times that I've made decisions not knowing this information about my natural human design and beating myself up, needing to explain myself, but later receiving the emotional clarity, if you will, right? Seeing exactly why, even though it didn't make sense, I was right in making that decision, how it was not actually the right time for me. And they say 2020 vision is after the fact, right? Is in hindsight of everything. But this is how we build this internal trust within ourselves to really be curious and to develop the self intimacy in ourselves and to allow ourselves to really be who we are. Because what if you are naturally doing it the way that you know is right for you, but this cycle might be playing out for you? And this is exactly why I want to share this with all of you and perhaps save you the headache, because I'm sure I'm not the only one going through something like this. But it does start with how well you know yourself and if you are accepting yourself for who you are. And it may not seem apparent up front, but judging ourselves versus accepting ourselves takes up a lot of mind space. It takes up a lot of energy to hold everything down. And when we push ourselves to make a quick decision and action to try to create our dreams faster, it may be detrimental to someone with an emotional authority. By not jumping into commitments prematurely, you will be saving yourself a lot of detours, which will actually save you time in the long run. So in this case, slower is actually faster because we may judge ourselves that we need to wait to make a decision and it feels slow. But yet, when we slow down, it actually will boost everything faster and you'll bring in the things exactly the way that you need it, in the way that you need it, with the people that you need to meet exactly at that time. And it really helps us to really stand in our authority and the truth of who we are at every given moment over what others say around us. Because when we are in our authority of ourselves and our own authentic energy and leadership, you will start to see how more aligned clients, aligned team members, and opportunities will flow to you when you're not resisting who you are. And most importantly, what you need. But if you are not aware of these naturally occurring emotional waves and are not aware on how to ride these waves, it will lower your energy vibration that you create life from. Because if you don't know how to navigate these waves, you will create more trigger experiences in your day, especially when you're in that low that brings you down and does slow you down in a way that you don't need to be slowed down. You may make decisions at a high point of your wave and then realize that you made the wrong choices or investments, right? Because if you don't know how to be with the waves, you will feel the tightness in your chest and feel like you're needing to push through these physical sensations in your body, which is telling you something is off, right? And this indirectly drains your energy and how you feel about yourself and your performance. And so, what I have learned over time is that these emotional waves are where new ideas, creativity, and the integration of these ideas come from. Remember, the solar plexus is our emotional and social awareness, our feelings, also where spirit consciousness comes through us. What I believe and my own personal experience is that these emotional highs and lows are actually portals to where new thought leadership is birthed into the world. You are the gift. Your emotions are a gift. When you surrender into the depths of your uncertainties, you are actually creating thought leadership that is different from what is already out there to lead others into a new perspective. So we don't need to worry about competition and competing with other people because the deeper we know ourselves and allow us to be with emotions and the power that is within us in our creativity, you are leading by being who you are and leading with your new perspectives, creativity, and your innate message, your own authentic self leadership. As an energy leadership coach, learning to navigate our emotions is crucial in learning to really lead our energy and creating the results we want in our lives. Because our emotions are energy in motion or not in motion, depending on how we are relating to our emotions. And this is a big piece of what I do is guiding high achievers how to turn towards the emotion, to turn towards themselves, their gifts, and the depths of who they are. Knowing how you feel emotionally can be a challenge at first. We are taught that emotions are unreliable, that our head and logic is better at being in charge, but our head only follows what makes sense and what has already been experienced, which actually prevents us conceiving and creating the new innovation and perspectives that are needed in the world today. With emotions, you don't have to even come up with how it all needs to happen. You just need to trust that you will have this emotional signal and clarity to rely on. The only way to build trust in ourselves as emotional authorities is holding the space for ourselves to try out this new way of being and to have the evidence be built up for you that, yes, this is right. And even though at the beginning it may feel that the evidence is not there, it feels right. and it feels good within yourself to take action in a way that builds your self-worth and what feels true for you in the moment. And this process and the world of emotions can feel very daunting. So if you're wanting to build your business and life in a way where you can confidently show up in your uniqueness and gifts, feel valued and respected for showing up and being the authentic you, and to be seen and heard for really bringing more of you to the table and being successful from this place, I invite you to reach out, book a call, have a conversation with me. Let's dive deeper into what this could look like for you. I am offering the Inner Awakening face analysis sessions, whether it's a human design reading, working together longer to learn how to move from having your emotions lead your decisions to feeling empowered by leading your emotions and energy to create your results. I invite you to reach out. You could book with me through my link in the show notes. Feel free to DM me through Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn to start a connection with me. I'm truly grateful for you being here and tuning in to this information. I hope it served you, and I appreciate you spending your time with me here today. Thank you so much for listening to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review so others can find the life-changing content that we're sharing here. We are starting our movement on our way to number 1, and we need your help to get there. If you'd like to connect with other high-achieving entrepreneurs and leaders who are also on their authentic, energetic leadership journey, join our free Facebook community, Energetically Aligned Leaders. Go to pathtotheheart.com/links to join the Facebook group, book your personalized face analysis experience, or to access our resources.